Hi everyone. Let's talk about ferns. So this is a Boston fern, also known as a sword fern. These guys are really nice looking. They're one of the trickier plants that I found that I need to care for. Tons of different kinds of ferns. You have rabbit's foot, bird's nest, and plenty more that I can't really think of off the top of my head. But ferns in general are low light tolerant, as you may have found out. Doesn't mean they prefer low light, but you could definitely put them in a low light condition. Normally ferns are used to being on like the floors of forests where the canopy above them is drowning out a lot of the light. So these guys I would never put in direct light. And if I do, it's going to be earlier in the day or later in the evening whenever the sun's rays aren't too harsh. These guys have really delicate foliage that is not very forgiving. If these guys scorch, they're going to drop, and it's going to be pretty obvious that it's unhappy. Some key points to know about the fern before you get one, or if you have one and it's not doing too well, keep these guys in a humid condition. If that means getting a humidity mat, putting a tray underneath it with some pebbles fill it up with water, that will, the surface area of the pebbles will help some of that water evaporate and create a higher humidity environment around this plant. You can also put other plants around this guy and keep them all kind of close together. That will prevent a lot of the humidity from being lost into the air. I have a space humidifier going in this home 24/7 to keep this environment nice and humid, especially in the winter months. Keep this guy away from radiators or space heaters or heat vents, heat registers. You definitely don't want to expose these guys to any dry air, or else they're really going to be feeling it and you're going to see some leaf drop. In addition to the whole humidity thing, these guys use a lot of water too. This amount of foliage requires a lot of water to keep it hydrated. So if you have a fern, you're going to notice that they're going to be one of the thirstier plants that you have. So what I do, I use a soil probe. I stick it directly down into the soil there. And if it's on the drier side, I definitely water it. I'm not going to keep this plant wet or soaked by any means, but I'm not going to let the soil entirely dry out because these guys have so much foliage. They definitely need a pretty consistent water supply. If you guys are interested in a soil probe and you don't have one, I have a video on that. You can go ahead and click the link in the description, or I'll post it right up there on the eye, whatever side that's on, and you'll be able to click on that. If you are interested in purchasing a soil probe, I do have an Amazon affiliate link. I would really appreciate it if you guys could at least click on that link, and if you were going to purchase whatever off of Amazon, just do it through that link, and I'll actually get a small commission from that, and that will show Amazon that I'm driving some customers in, and I would really appreciate that support. In addition, if you guys want to like this video or subscribe for more content, I definitely won't always have houseplant videos, but it's definitely a hobby of mine, so that's the majority of the content that you're going to see as of now. I think I covered the majority of what you need to know about ferns. They're a pretty straightforward plant. I've never propagated one. If you wanted to do so, I would go ahead and do that through division. So break up the root ball, pull it out of the pot, and like separate this plant into two, and then keep them in their separate pots, and then they'll fill out throughout time, but not really necessary. But yeah, ferns are really awesome. They get huge. As long as you have the humidity, relatively good light conditions, and you stay on top of watering these guys, they're going to really enjoy you. If you want to fertilize these guys, I would use a 20-20-20, if not a 30-20-20 fertilizer. What that means is that it's just slightly higher in the nitrogen content, which will actually be very good for all of the foliage that is on this plant. Some of the reasons why you might see browning on your leaves is you're not watering enough, there's not enough humidity, or you have some kind of nutrient deficiency within your soil. I would only fertilize your plants during the watering season, and I will actually have a whole video on fertilizer coming up here shortly that you guys can check out if you're interested in fertilizing, how to do it, when to do it, what to use. It's complicated, but yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions about how to care for ferns. They're pretty easy. Very rewarding, very lush plants. I think they just add so much like texture and greenery to a space. I think they're awesome plants. Highly recommend that everyone should get one and get a little humidifier for it too. It will thank you. All right, everyone. Bye.